So the NBA is back, and let me just say this. So the Lakers lost on opening night to the Clippers, which really isn't a surprise to me. I know some Laker fans already think that there are some. I don't believe most, but I do know some personally who believe that the sky is already falling in LA. People are saying LeBron's washed up. Let me just let me just get into this article. LeBron James dismisses Lakers Clippers being a rivalry after playing first game, but it certainly is now. Okay. In the 155 meetings between the Clippers and Lakers, only 5 times have the two teams split the regular season series 2 games apiece. Only 6 times have both teams made the playoffs in the same season, with one team being far superior than the other. In the past, it's been a rivalry born out of nothing other than location. They share the Los Angeles market and the same arena, but for decades the Clippers were an afterthought to the NBA fans and to the people in LA in general. Now let me say this. I grew up watching the Lakers. As you guys know, I'm not a Laker fan. I was a Kobe fan. I do appreciate the Lakers, and I tend to root for them just since I'm from that area. But I wouldn't consider myself a fan. But let me say this, as someone who understands Lakers, Clippers, and that whole thing, there's 2 ways to look at this. One way you can look at this is there is no competition between them and rivalry. If you look at the long-term picture. So the Lakers have 16 championships. The Clippers have 0. Okay? And stay with me now. I know what some of you are thinking, "Oh my god, another person who's living in the past." Stay with me, okay? That's one side someone can take. One person can say, "You know what? I hold both ways to be true, okay? In the grand scheme of things, there's no competition, there's no rivalry. There isn't one. Even if the Clippers win a championship this year, it's still a Laker town. Because the score would now be 16-1. And then Laker fans would look at the Clippers and say, "Okay, do it again." Okay, the Lakers have 16. Let me just go over some numbers real quick, okay? So the Lakers. Actually, I'm gonna give you like 5 seconds. Try not to Google the answer. How many jerseys do you think the Lakers have retired? All right, so here we go. Kobe Bryant, 8-24. Okay, Wilt Chamberlain, 13. Elgin Baylor, 22. Gail Goodrich, 25. Magic Johnson, 32. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, 33. Shaquille O'Neal, 34. James Worthy, 42. Jerry West, 44. 52. Jamal Wilkes. Okay, now I do know some people who say, "Oh, Kobe shouldn't have had both of his jerseys retired." Personally, I think he should have, simply because if you look at his stats as if you look at his career as wearing number 8 and his career stats at wearing number 24, they're both extremely impressive. And if you separate those 2 individuals, you would put both of those individuals in the Hall of Fame. I believe. That's just me. Okay, so I do believe, both of his numbers should be in the Hall of Fame. I mean, both of those numbers should be retired to him. Now, How many do the Clippers have? They have none. Okay, there are more Laker figures. There are more Laker figures than there are Clipper figures. Okay, so you have Lob City, which is kind of the first time the Clippers were really cared about and, somewhat paid attention to, but they didn't win anything. They had a lot of tension in that franchise. Doc Rivers, Blake Griffin, Chris Paul. You just had a lot of issues. All right. So now, that's why I would say this: on the grand scheme of the timeline, there's no competition. It even if the Clippers win, it's going to be 16 championships to 1. Now, for a little bit, I would say for like the summertime, it would be a Clipper town, but it would still be like the Lakers would still be like, okay, this is our place. You're still in our arena. You don't have any greats. There are no greats associated with the Clippers. All right. So that's that. Now, let me go the other way. On the, short term, there is competition here. The Lakers and the Clippers are both contenders here. I would say the Clippers more so than the Lakers, but the Clippers are certainly contesting. Okay? And currently there is a battle because it's like, okay, so who's going to be king of LA? LeBron didn't have a great game. And let me just address this. People are saying, is LeBron rusty? Here's the thing. In my opinion, LeBron has earned the right to have some bad games. I don't know if you guys forgot already, but the man has been to 8 straight finals. Obviously, that streak has been broken, but he went to 8 straight finals, mostly due to him. And so now, LeBron, and here's what people need to do. And I know it's hard, especially for Laker fans. Don't compare Kobe to LeBron. They are 2 totally different people with 2 totally different mentalities. Kobe's mindset is to be a killer. He's always had that Mamba mentality, or I shouldn't say he's always had it, but he's always had the mindset of whoever's in front of me, they're about to die. That was Kobe's mentality. He's like, they're not going to beat me. That was just his will to win and his will to dominate the game was there. LeBron's not like that. To me, both are legends. LeBron's mindset is more, share the ball, have more fun. Personally, I don't think Kobe had that much fun playing because he was just so focused on doing really well, being at the top of his game, holding everybody responsible, including himself, dealing with injuries. I don't think he had that much fun during his career. But I think in Kobe's mind, he didn't care about having fun. He cared about winning. That's what he cared about. LeBron's like, I want to play with my friends. I want to play with D Wade. He has his friends and he's worried about, he focuses on that. He's got a lot of businesses outside of basketball. So LeBron's more the businessman. Kobe's more the killer. LeBron just wasn't like that. So you have 2 different personalities. You have 2 different mindsets. So what you have to look at is, LeBron is not going to be Kobe. He's not going to go out every single game trying to do his best. 82 games is a lot of games. Now, I'm going to be honest. I don't know when players just started to get so tired. 82 games has been the norm for a while now. Except that lockout season where they started on Christmas and they only had 60 games. But overall, the norm has been 82 games. I don't know when players started to just get so fatigued and so tired, okay? But, the focus now is, okay, save your energy for the playoffs. Save it for the end. All right? And that's just the mentality that we have in today's game. So yeah, LeBron had a bad game, and let me be real. I don't think he's going to have his best season, but remember, he's still LeBron James. He can still ball. I think LeBron's going to be one of those people who, when he's done, he's done. When he can't do it anymore, because listen, he doesn't need basketball. LeBron James does not need basketball. Basketball needs LeBron more than LeBron needs basketball. LeBron could very easily just say, you know what, man, I just can't do it anymore. And he could very easily retire. LeBron has proven so much. He doesn't have to, try to stay on top when he knows he's on the decline. I think he's going to have a very peaceful retirement. And I'm going to be happy for him when it happens. But for the Clippers, right now, they're fighting for supremacy in LA. The Clippers mindset is, okay, you know what? We've been on bottom long enough. We got a new owner. We've got 2 great stars. One of them just won a championship. We're trying to do great things. We're about to get an arena of our own. The Clippers are on the move. They are on the move. So they are trying to prove something. They're playing with a chip on their shoulder, the chip to me is even bigger than, them past seasons. You could even say it's multiple chips. Because the Clippers have been seen overall as the little brother of the Lakers. I remember one time, I was a kid. I think I was 6 or 7. I think I was 6. And my family had the opportunity to go to a basketball game. And immediately I thought, oh my gosh, I'm going to be able to go to watch the Lakers play in person, which I had done before, but it wasn't that often. It was very rare. But then, I found out that they were Clipper tickets, and I was like, oh, I still wanted to go because, there's nothing like being at an NBA game in person. It doesn't, it's totally different from watching it on TV. You can't even compare the two. But it was just, even when I was that young, I was like, oh, the Clippers. And I was like, well, it'd be fun. It'd still be fun to go. That was my mindset, and that's the mindset of a lot of other people from LA. The Clippers are still seen as a little brother. Here's the thing. Once the Clippers get out of Staples Center and they win some championships, then they'll start to be respected more. I don't think the Clippers are going to be as respected as they would like to be, simply because they haven't won anything. They don't have any legendary players. No numbers have been retired. It's just one of those things where you look at it and you say, hey man, can you give us something? I've known a few Clipper fans, and they enjoyed most of their pleasure recently has been coming from the Lakers overall not being as good. Not from their team doing really well. Because Clipper fans understand what they think they do. They kind of think they do, but they don't. A championship changes things. Even if you go to the finals and lose, it's powerful, but it's obviously you didn't win the championship. A championship changes your mindset. Winning changes everything. It really does. So, you have this situation, and I here's what I believe. you guys already know that I have the Clippers winning the title. Okay? So, I do think they're going to start to gain more respect. But overall, and I'm not saying this because I grew up as a Kobe fan. I'm not saying what I'm about to say. I'm not saying that because of that. I'm just saying that the Lakers will still be seen as the team of LA. They'll still be seen as the big brother. It's just that simple. That's how I see it. The Clippers have to, start winning. You gotta get to, and again, a lot of these championships are from way back. The last time the Lakers won was 2010. I was 11. I remember that year. 2009 was pretty. Here's the thing. Even to me, 2009 was a joke because it was against the Magic. I was like, Lakers and Magic. That just, like, who cares about Jameer Nelson, Dwight Howard, Rashard Lewis? Those guys. I didn't care about those guys. I knew we were going to win. Then we beat the Celtics, which was like great. And then we didn't do anything. So it's been almost a decade since the Lakers have done anything. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. But at the end of this season, even if everything goes completely right for the Lakers, or I should say, if everything goes completely right for the Lakers, and if everything goes completely wrong for the Lakers, it's still going to be a Laker town at the end of this season. Clippers have a long way to go. They're gaining ground. I'm going to give that to them. They're gaining some ground. But the Lakers are still LA's team. Okay. So I'm done with that specific topic, but I'm not done with the Lakers. I'm not going to talk about the game. Because remember, the NBA season is a marathon. It's 82 games, a lot of travel. You're going to win some, you're going to lose some. Everyone can't win their opener. It's just that possible. Okay. Jason Kidd posted a photo. This is from Fox News. Jason Kidd gets ripped on social media for leaving out Lakers coach in tweet to team. Okay, when Jason Kidd joined LA Lakers coach Frank Vogel's staff in the summer, there was immediate speculation that the former NBA point guard was eyeing a bigger role with the team. Kidd's motives were questioned again Tuesday when he tweeted a photo of himself with some players from the Lakers, including LeBron James, Anthony Davis, and Alex Caruso. The photo included a tiny shot of Vogel over the Caruso's right shoulder. And let me just say this. I brought this up before. I would like to give Jason Kidd the benefit of the doubt, but Jason Kidd is mostly about himself. He's a guy that's hard to get along with. He's not a well-liked guy. Okay? He's just one of those guys that you're cool with or you can't stand him. I'm not surprised that this happened. Here's what you can't do. And this was so stupid by the Lakers. I don't know what they were thinking. I'm curious. Who in the Lakers organization said, you know what? Along with Frank Vogel, let's have Lionel Hollins and Jason Kidd as the assistant coaches. And then some people said, well, that's one damn good idea. I mean, why not do that? I mean, perfect. It was such a stupid idea. When you've been a head coach, you look through things. You see yourself, and you are naturally going to be a little bit jealous of the person who is the head coach. It's a demotion. It's a move down in your career. Now, Jason Kidd has not had a great run as a head coach at all. And let me just say this. Jason Kidd, you can't have multiple visions of the future in an organization. You need to have one vision, one goal, and you need to collectively go for that. Frank Vogel, ultimately, he's the head coach, so he has the final say so. But you gotta look at it this way. Jason Kidd, he's a stubborn guy. He's a guy who's been a head coach. Lionel Hollins has also been a head coach. They all have their ideas to share. The Lakers still don't have a president of basketball operations. LeBron, you could say, is coach number 4. He's the coach on the floor. And when he's on the sideline, he's also coaching, along with laughing and stuff like that. This was just stupid. It was such a stupid idea to hire Jason Kidd. I mean, if you see this picture, Frank Vogel, literally, I mean, look at this. Jason Kidd is in the middle of the photo. The Lakers are in a huddle. You can see the back and left profile of LeBron James. Then you see Alex Caruso. And then barely getting into the frame of the picture is head coach Frank Vogel. You can only see a little bit of his hair, the top of his forehead, his eyebrow ridge, and some eyelashes. That's the only thing you can see of Frank Vogel. The tweet said, "A new chapter of @Lakers basketball begins tonight. #GameDay, #LakeShow." And I'm telling you something. If you looked at this photo, you would think Jason Kidd is the head coach. It's like this. If someone woke up from a coma, how can I put this? If someone went into a coma during the finals, and then they just woke up today and they saw this picture, they would think, "Oh, wow, Jason Kidd's the head coach of the Los Angeles Lakers. Wow, that's incredible." But he's not. It's the assistant coach. This is not a good look. I don't know what the Lakers were thinking when they did this. You have 3 visions. It's unintentional, but it's just natural. Here's the thing, in a career, you try to move upward in a career. Even if you move sideways, it's kind of seen as a type of demotion or, going down. Jason Kidd, do you think Jason Kidd enjoys being the head coach? Enjoys being the assistant coach? Seriously, do you think that? I think he and Lionel Hollins are praying that the season goes badly. Because it's very easy, because all they would say is specifically Jason Kidd. I think Lionel Hollins, naturally he's going to have a little bit of an ego, but not as big as Jason Kidd's. Let's say the Lakers go, let's say they go 50-32. Let's say they go 50-32. Okay, so let's say they don't win the championship, alright? And let's say they do it again next year, or they do a little bit better or just slightly worse. Jason Kidd's gonna come along and say, "Hey, clearly Frank can't do this. You've already got someone who has head coaching experience. I'm already in the franchise. I'm familiar with these guys. Move him out and put me in." It'd be like this. It'd be one of the smoothest transitions you could have. And so now you have this, and I'm telling you, man, this was just a dumb hire. This was just a dumb, stupid hire. One person tweeted, James Toast, definitely scheming to get Vogel's job already. Oh, he started scheming the minute he got hired. Kid, another one says, Kid already looking more like the head coach than Vogel. Lol. And if I'm telling you, if you, I really encourage you, look up the picture, look up Jason Kidd's tweet. He looks like the head coach, but he's not. He's not. I'm telling you. He looks just like it, and you can barely see Frank Vogel. You can easily miss it. Like, I saw this tweet, and I was like, and I saw that someone said that Frank Vogel was in it. I was searching for him for maybe 5 minutes. I couldn't find him. I was like, bro, where is he? But then I went over to another article, and they said, oh, he's, you can see him next to Alex Caruso's right shoulder. And that's the one that I'm on now. And I look and I zero in on his right shoulder, and lo and behold, that is Frank Vogel's forehead. This just is not a good look. Kidd has previously coached the Brooklyn Nets and Milwaukee Bucks. He was traded by the Nets to the Bucks after one season for 2 draft picks. In 4 seasons with the Bucks, he was 139 and 152 and was fired during the 2017-2018 season. He only led the Bucks to 2 playoff appearances in that span. He then joined the Lakers in the offseason. Okay, let me just get into some history concerning Jason Kidd, alright? I'm telling you, this was just not a good idea. What would make anyone think to hire him as an assistant? Who thought that would be a good idea? This is from 2014. Okay? While he was with the Nets, all right? Jason Kidd has had a Hall of Fame career as a player, which is true. He really has. He was quite the player. A lot of iconic moments. Famously, he took the Nets from the cellar to 2 consecutive NBA Finals. As he showed promise as their coach this past season. But this latest turn of events has done nothing to diminish his reputation as a tricky character. Here's a history of Kidd's past incidents. And remember, this is just, some of these are just allegations, okay? Some of these are just allegations. All right? So just stay with me. But remember, as the old saying goes, where there's smoke, there's a fire. Okay? That's, that tends to be the case. And especially when you have a repeated history. Okay? From different people. When he was a freshman at Cal, Kidd reportedly instigated a mutiny that led to Lou Campanelli's firing. In the mid-90s, Kidd feuded with Dallas teammate Jim Jackson, which led to him demanding a trade. Kidd ultimately ended up in Phoenix. In January of 2001, Kidd was arrested for hitting his now ex-wife, Jumana. He pleaded guilty to spousal abuse and was fined $200 in order to take anger management training. He was eventually traded to the Nets. In 2004, Kidd helped run New Jersey coach Byron Scott out of town. The point guard screamed at Scott during a December 2003 locker room tirade. In December 2007, Kidd reportedly went on strike by complaining of a migraine and missing a game against the Knicks. He was then asked out and was traded back to the Mavericks. In the 2008 playoff game against the Hornets, Kidd was ejected after a flagrant foul for flipping Gennaro Pargo. he was not suspended. In 2010, Kidd intentionally ran into Atlanta coach Mike Woodson on the sideline during the game. He drew a technical foul on Woodson as a result. The move essentially won the game for the Mavericks. Gamesmanship or something else. In the summer of 2012, Kidd gave Dallas a verbal commitment to re-sign, but he later decided to spurn the Mavericks and depart for New York for a similar deal. Kidd retired just one season into his 2-year contract with the Knicks. A little more than a week after joining the Knicks, Kidd was charged with driving while intoxicated after he crashed his SUV into a utility pole on Long Island. He eventually pleaded guilty and was later suspended for the first 2 regular season games of his coaching career. In late November 2013, Kidd was involved in the infamous Sodagate incident. And it's actually kind of funny if you look at the footage. When he told Tyshawn Taylor to hit him while he was holding a cup of soda which fell and had to be cleaned up. The Nets didn't have any timeouts at the time. Kidd was fined $50,000 by the NBA for his actions. After being hired by the Nets as coach, Kidd wanted to bring in his former coach Lawrence Frank as his assistant and mentor. The Nets made Frank the highest paid assistant in NBA history by giving him a 6-year, $6 million contract with the possibility to move into the front office. It turned out to be a disaster. In November, Kidd reportedly used a 13-letter word in an expletive-filled rant at Frank. Just 17 games in, following a 5-12 start, Frank was reassigned to daily reports. On Saturday night, news broke that Kidd had made a failed power play with the Nets and was in discussions about becoming the next coach of the Milwaukee Bucks. The Nets traded Kidd's coaching rights to the Bucks in exchange for 2 second-round picks on Monday. That, ladies and gentlemen, is the guy who is the assistant coach for the Los Angeles Lakers. That's the guy. You wouldn't believe it. And mind you, this is just up to 2014. Okay? This is the person that... He's not a guy that can really be trusted. Obviously, he wants the head coaching spot. I don't understand. What would make you think to hire this guy? I don't get it. I don't get it. But you know, the Bible says where there is no vision, the people perish. And I think this is ultimately going to hurt. It's ultimately going to hurt the Lakers. I'm telling you, if the Lakers go on a losing streak, just watch Jason Kidd. Watch him. Just watch him. That's all I'm going to say. Okay, so that is that. Now, let us get into an unfortunate turn of events. I followed this closely, and I have to be honest. Well, let me just read the article, and then I'll give you a little bit. I'll give you a little bit of the details. South Carolina police find remains of missing 5-year-old Nevia Adams. Authorities in South Carolina say they have found the remains of a 5-year-old girl more than 2 months after the man suspected of slaying her mother allegedly admitted to killing the child too. Now let me just say this. Here's what I thought would happen. When it first came out, when the story first came out, I somewhat remember it. Once a month hit, I just naturally accepted. I believed that she was gone. That's just what I believed. I don't even know. To me, when it was 1 week, I was like, 2 weeks hit, I was like, she's gone. I immediately, in my heart, I felt it. When a month hit, I had to admit it openly to myself. I said, look, Solo, she's gone. She's gone. And I was hopeful. But man. Okay, this is back in the article. The body was found last Friday at a landfill near the town of Elgin, South Carolina, some 40 miles southwest of the city of Sumter, where she lived with her mom. The Sumter Police Department announced Tuesday that DNA tests had confirmed the human remains were those of the little girl. This is not the outcome any of us would have wanted, Sumter Police Chief Russell Rourke said in a statement, but we hope this can provide some closure to the family. It took 2 weeks to prepare the landfill before authorities could begin searching, which is even more precious time. Landfill search experts with the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children identified an area where human remains and other evidence in the case would most likely be found. There's a picture of her, and she's gorgeous, and she's gone. And I found that I do a lot of stories on kids. Someone just kind of mentioned that to me, and I just kind of stopped to think, and I realized that they were right, that I do talk about, children a lot, because children, man, children are just so amazing, man. They really are. Like, they're such a gift to the world. And they're the most pure you can ever be. The older you get, the less pure you are. Every day just goes down. From the minute you're born, it starts to go downhill. But kids are just so incredible, man. And I think one of the reasons I do these stories is because I care about kids, and I think that they're so important, where it's like, I'm going to say this. Here's the thing. If you're going to kill someone, I can't comprehend, and I would actually like to get into the psychology concerning this, of how someone can kill a child. Like 5. This girl couldn't really have done anything. The best she could have done is run. And obviously it's a little girl running against a grown man. She's not going to make it. Unless he's like a paraplegic. She had no shot. I don't understand what could cause someone to deliberately kill a child. I don't know. I can't even. There's a thin line between good and evil. There is. But there are certain things where I just look at it and I'm like, I don't know how you get to that place to where you can do that. Adults, I get it. You can have a grudge against someone. Okay, this person, they've done something in their life where, they're not really a good person, or you're angry at the person. But a child, a young child, 5. I don't know. Let me say this. Even if it's to get back at the parent, I still don't know how you do it. It sickens me. It absolutely sickens me. So then, some 400 people from more than 40 agencies searched through about 4 million pounds of material at the Waste Management Richland County landfill for her body. The local community and the state as a whole have been profoundly impacted by this case. It is our hope that the recovery will provide a sense of peace to her family, the community, and the hundreds of men and women who participated in this effort. The little girl has been missing since her mother, Sherry Bradley, was found dead inside their apartment in Sumter on the night of August 5th. Nevia was nowhere to be found. I don't know. And let me just, I'm gonna get into this, man. some may say that, okay, now you're just trying to support guns and stuff like that. Okay, sure, if you want to think that, go right ahead. But let me just explain something very simple. People talk about, when there's an emergency, to call the police. And that is just not, it's good advice, but here's what you need to understand. And it's very basic. We don't have teleportation devices, okay? We can't just be in one place and then snap our fingers and we show up at a desired location. Police have to arrive. They have to leave where they are, and they have to get to the destination. In matters like this, it is the moments that matter, not the minutes. This is from a securelife.com, and this was a study that was published this year, and it's on police response times in U.S. cities. When emergencies come up, it's comforting to know that first responders are typically only a few minutes away, regardless of where you are in the city. But since every minute counts in these instances, it should be every second, we decided to take a look at average police response times in a number of big cities throughout the U.S. Response times differ from city to city based on factors like city population, police funding, and available resources in a given region. When it comes to priority 1 calls, the highest priority emergencies that usually include life-threatening emergencies or dangerous active crimes, the difference between a 5-minute and a 10-minute response time can make all the difference. Now, these are the 10 major cities ranked by average police response time. Number 1, San Francisco, 5.5 minutes. Houston, Texas, 5.5 minutes. LA, 6 minutes. New York, 6.7 minutes. San Antonio, 6.9 minutes. Austin, Texas, 7 minutes. 7.15 minutes. Dallas, Texas, 8.39 minutes. Seattle, 9 minutes. San Jose, 9.2. Fort Worth, Texas, 9.5. I just listen. Police have to arrive. You have to protect your family. I remember I was talking to my parents one day, and this is mostly something that I deal with my mom, where I remember I talked about how I was going to get, I think I've given this story before, but we were listening to a radio program called Pastor's Perspective. And first of all, it's an interesting radio show. I personally don't like it. I don't really like hearing about random people's problems from people that I'm not even remotely connected to. And a lot of the time, it's a very easy fix. But anyway, that's not the point. But one call came up where the question was about, is it okay for Christians to own a gun? And this was like the first time ever I actually listened to the call, and I was like, okay, this is something that actually interests me, and it's actually a good question. Okay. But anyway, my mom and I talked about it, and my mom and she asked me, would I ever own a gun? And I said, absolutely. And she didn't like the answer, and she immediately tried to pull the "don't you trust God" card. And I said, listen, we all trust God to a degree. Abraham trusted God to a degree, and he's considered the father of faith. Okay, he was a guy who was really connected to God and really, believed on him. But belief and faith, it only goes so far. I remember I asked my mom, I was like, why do we have an alarm for our home? Why do we have an alarm system? She never answered. She never answered. But it's like, okay, you want to pull God into this. Why do we lock the doors at night? Why do you lock your car? Why do you lock your front door? Why don't you just leave your purse on the ground? Why don't you count your money in public? There are so many things that you can do. If you trust him that much, just go ahead and do those things. But that's not going to happen. It is, I personally believe families, and you may call this sexist, but I believe every father, every dad, every husband, at least for sure every husband and father, okay, you need to have a gun in your home so that way you can protect your family if something bad happens. You can call the police and just hope that they don't find you. Hope that nothing bad happens to you. Listen, break-ins happen all the time. And most break-ins they aren't at night. Most break-ins are during the day when most people are at work. Remember, these are criminals. They're lowlifes. They don't have a lot of money. They don't have jobs. This is how they make their living. They steal. Okay? So it's like, what if your wife is at home with the kids, it's summertime, she's there with the kids, and there's a break-in. What are you going to do? What's she going to do? What are the kids going to do? Call the police and hide? You have to protect yourself. And let me say this. There are other ways that you can decrease your chances of, getting your home broken into. Having dogs, having long driveways. There are many deterrents that you can have for your home. But things do happen. Sometimes, you want to fight back. You have to protect your family. You have to. And I don't understand how you can. And here's what you don't want. Like people say, oh, you don't need a gun. You can just have, a bat. Okay. Here's the thing about a baseball bat. A baseball bat, first of all, you have to swing it. So you have to bring it back, and then you have to go forward with it to add some power to it. And you have to be in close range. You want to minimize, or I should say you want to maximize the amount of space you have between you and the intruder. Now, I'm no safety expert. I'm not at all. As you guys know, I'm not an expert on anything. But I know that you don't want to be close to the person who's, with you. You want an unfair advantage. You want a height advantage. Okay, you want height, you want distance. You want to set your home up in a way that you can protect yourself and, most importantly, your family and your loved ones. I'm not married now, or I don't have kids now, but my worst nightmare would be something, my wife being at home or something happening to her and I'm not there and I can't do anything for her. And I'm pretty much at the complete mercy of the person in the home, of the person who's breaking into my home. That's a nightmare. You have to protect your kids, man. You got to protect your family. You have to. And if you don't, I have a lot of questions concerning your family. I don't necessarily want to ask, okay, do you even care about your family? Because I don't want to do that. But it's like, look, man, things happen. They do. The police don't just teleport there, and it's not like Minority Report. If you've ever seen the movie Minority Report, it's very interesting. If you haven't seen it, it's good. I recommend it. I'm not a big fan of Tom Cruise, but it's a good movie. But anyway, in this movie called Minority Report, you have people, they're called a pre-crime unit. And what they are police. And pretty much what happens is when a crime is about to be committed, they are alerted, and it says, okay, this crime is about to happen. And so they can go and stop the crime before it happens. Okay, first of all, that's a horrible world to live in. Just saying, because that means you're being, watched all the time, every place, and you would be getting arrested before you commit a crime. Or I should say what appears to be a crime. Now let me say this. The police, they have to get there. They have to get there. You can't just I don't know how you could sleep at night with your family, with the best thing here's the thing, an alarm system is great. It's very important. If a burglar sees that there's an alarm system, it's a strong deterrent, and they're like, no. It also lowers insurance rates, just so you know, having an alarm system. But you look at this and you say, okay, the best thing I have is an alarm. So the police are alerted. Okay, what am I going to do in the meantime? What am I going to do in the meantime? Because here's what you have to understand. You have more to lose than the burglar. It's your home, your wife, your kids, your significant other, your possessions, their lives, your life. The only thing the burglar really has to lose is his life and potentially his freedom, when the police arrive and when they get him. If they get him, I should say. That's what you have to do. You just have to look at it as, okay, who has more to lose? I do. Because they're coming into my place where your home is your sanctuary. Your home is where, you can be yourself. Your home is where your loved ones are. Your home is where, you have sex, where you make memories with your kids. You're cooking, you're eating, you're laughing, you're sitting together watching TV. That's where it is. But when you don't do that, it's like, well, I don't know what you want. What are we supposed to do? The burglar's like, yeah, I could lose my life, but you have a lot more to lose. I don't know. I just personally, I'm gonna have, I'm gonna protect my family, and that's going to involve me owning multiple guns, and hopefully I can, hopefully my future girlfriend / wife, hopefully they know how to shoot a gun and how to properly use one and do all of that, so that way if I'm not there and she's there, then she can do it. My preference would be that I do it and not her, but if something needs to be done, then one of us can do it. Okay, so hopefully, and if she doesn't, I'm going to teach her how to do it. And I'm going to have her, take courses, learn gun terminology, practice. So that way, if something happens, you can protect yourself and you can protect your family, and you don't have situations like this. You have to, you got to protect your family, man. I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying to not trust the police. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm just saying they simply got to get to where you are. You have to get to where you are. They have to arrive to your home. They have to arrive to the scene of the crime. If you're walking, and I seriously don't recommend this, but I mean, sometimes you have to, but especially if you're a woman and you're walking alone at night, You know, there are bad dudes out there. Most people aren't criminals. But there are some bad dudes out there where it's like, okay, you know, who can I get tonight? Who can I rape tonight? Oh, look at that. There's a 5'4", you know, lady, and I'm 6'3". Or I'm just naturally bigger than her, or because I'm a guy, I can easily overpower her. There was a story of these 3 guys who were going to try to rape this woman down the street, and it sounds like some kind of a movie, but this really happened. But there were these 3 guys. It was either 3 or 5 guys, and they were going to go like gang rape this woman on the street, or they were going to try to get her so that they could gang rape her. But she had a gun. And you know what happened? She didn't get raped. They said, oh no, we picked the wrong person. And they ran. And she remained safe. So I'm telling you, man, the world is getting safer. It really is. This is the best time to ever live. But bad things do happen. There are bad people that exist. So, you know, if nothing else, if not for you, do it for your loved ones. Do it for your wife. Do it for your kids. Do it for your home. I really don't know what else to say about this, man. This story it broke my heart when it first came out, when she first went missing. I said, "Oh, Jesus, please. Like, let her be found and let her be okay." But no. She's dead.